hope the connection is going well. Let me check this. Give me one. Okay, cool. We're back. All right, guys. Sorry, I had to check the connection. Yeah, so you saw the screenshot. I can show you the actual text because we want to have receipts here. And let's do that. Okay, let me turn the camera here. So this is a text message from my client. So as you can see, this is the Ring Central account right here, right? This is my computer. See, it's my computer. And this is the proof. He just texted this to me a moment ago. As you can see, a public record was removed from your file between September 30th and October 5th. And yeah, so pretty quick. As you can see, bankruptcy removed in about, I'm going to say, 2 weeks. Right there. There's the proof. Can't lie. Can't make that up. That's it right there. He's good. He's supposed to come on. Zaid is supposed to come on. I sent him the link to join, but this is the proof. So on my, see, I'm covering up this part. That's like numbers I can't show you, but this is like the Ring Central. See, it's a text message. I can say, hey, what's up, bro? Hey, hi. See, and just goes there. Yeah. So like I said, like we're getting pretty awesome results for our clients. Another day. I mean, I've been doing this for too long. It's great. I'm happy and excited for my clients, but for me to see, like, just the craziest things get removed off a credit report, it's, my shock factor is gone. I've been doing this business since 22. I'm now 20. I'm now 34. Here he is. I think this is him. Hi, Zaid. How are you? Good to see you, man.
Likewise. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. I'm just in my room here and doing a live with you. I'm excited to see that bankruptcy get removed. You just sent me that message.
That's
Awesome.
my response. That's my response.
Cool. Yeah, you were just talking about this yesterday, and
Mhm.
yeah, and then it happened. It manifested.
Yeah.
Just like that one thing that I told you today, unfortunate accident on my roof.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Speak of the devil. But yeah, it's crazy. This morning I woke up to a bunch of ambulance, and I'm like, if there's an ambulance in my house, it's not good because an ambulance never comes to my home, like never. And I'm like,
Mm.
what is it? The police or is it? I'm like, no, that's not a police car. And then I look out my window and I see an ambulance and I see the stretcher coming out, and I see all the workers because there's always workers at this place, and they're all like going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh no, something really, really bad happened. And
Yeah.
I was in the middle of just waking up and other stuff. I didn't run out there
Mm-hmm.
because obviously it's nothing I could do. They're the
Mm-hmm.
professionals.
Yeah.
But eventually I found out that, like, I think about 45, 30 minutes later, I found out that someone got electrocuted.
Yeah.
It was by lightning, by the storm, a lightning bolt.
Mm-hmm.
And then he fell down, but he fell on the terrace of the building, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because he didn't fall all the way down. Of course, he would just he would his body would be smashed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but he fell about one. story down, and he died. But the police and everything, they said he died by electricity.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy, really
And
crazy.
then my bankruptcy came off. More
Yeah,
crazy. Hmm.
yeah. So a lot of crazy stuff. The planets are in retrograde now, and from Western astrology, uh, planets are moving. Well, they're not moving backwards. They're just appearing that they're moving backwards because the Earth is moving slower, and the planets are moving faster. If that makes sense, or the other way around. Either way, it appears that the planets are going the other direction, but they're really not. You can't.
Hmm.
They can't just turn. So,
Hmm.
and during times like this, all tons of crazy shit happens,
Yeah.
according to astrology. The universe is very interesting, and I pay
Hmm.
attention
Yes, it
to it.
is.
There was a number of accidents aside from this guy, passing away from lightning, and a lot of other stuff during this time. A lot of good things can happen, and also
Hmm.
bad things. It's kind of just
Hmm.
like maneuvering. It's just dynamic, big dynamic. And then
Hmm.
on the eastern front of Chinese astrology, zodiac, it's a year of the
Hmm.
dragon,
Yeah, the
and
dragon. Hmm.
I'm in the year of the snake. But in the year of the
Yep.
dragon, uh,
Yours is coming. Yours is coming.
right after.
Hmm.
But the year of the dragon for me has always been like restructuring, radical change, and just
Hmm.
complete shift from the prior years, which were terrible. Even COVID, if you look at COVID-19, that was in the year of the
Yeah. Yeah.
pig, I think.
Yes, it was.
And
Yep.
yeah, these years, I mean, the pig is my enemy. I don't know what sign you are.
Rooster.
Okay, yeah, rooster, I mess with. Yeah, roosters, I always get along with, girls and guys alike. Um,
Hmm.
in a heterosexual way. I'm just saying, I like
We we
girls, but
we.
okay,
You don't have to explain,
okay,
Andre. I
okay,
get it, sir. I get it, sir.
okay. Yeah, so the year of the snake, and then a few years after, maybe I think like 3 to 4 years, maybe even more, are going to be like just golden years for me.
Yeah.
And then they get like shit. They turn like shit. But as you
Hmm.
get wiser, you
Yeah.
tend to avoid, you tend to mitigate damage. The damage
Hmm.
still happens, droughts, slow seasons,
Hmm.
health, but you can mitigate it by foreseeing it. Yeah. So
Also,
that's that.
I also to anyone's listening or watching right now or later, never put all your eggs in one basket when it comes to this stuff. So you may have a bad year, and astrology might say, yeah, this is what's supposed to happen to you because that's why you're having a bad year. But always know in the back of your mind that you didn't get fired because it's Metro retrograde. It's Mercury retrograde. You got fired because you was probably late 5 times, or you was messing around and stealing stuff. But always looking to reflect that. Like I told Andre, my son got into an accident not too long ago, right? And then my truck broke down. Then I wasn't, and I could be frank and honest with this. Money wasn't coming in like it's supposed to, right? And I was thinking astrology and all of that. I'm pretty heavy into that myself, but um, my focus was affirmations. Okay, I gotta get this BK off. I gotta get these inquiries off. I gotta get these collections off. I'm trying to get a house. I'm trying to get a new car. Let me focus on the positive.
Things you can
Start think.
control.
There you go.
You got
So,
the universe out here, which is
hey,
good, and then you got
hey,
this inside.
there
So
you go.
it's like the
Like
ocean.
there you go.
No,
Einstein, yeah, Einstein said it best. Einstein said, universe is an interesting place, but if you told a fish that it can climb a pole, and the fish can't, then the fish will think his entire life that it's stupid because the fish doesn't know you're not supposed to climb a pole. You're supposed to be in the water. But if you told a fish, yeah, you climb a pole, that's not the fish's natural design. It's supposed to be in the water. But Einstein said it like I'm paraphrasing, but the idea is that if you know your lane, you know your limits, then Do that. You can't do everything. And anytime that the pendulum swings both ways all the time. And karma is real, very real. And karma just means action. So if you find yourself in dire straits, always think it's not the pendulum's gonna go the other way eventually. And then while the pendulum's going the other way, get your eggs right. Put them in different baskets if need be. Warren Buffett said, "Now he said if you put all your eggs in one basket, watch that basket." I didn't know what he meant by then. I know what he means now. You know, always watch those baskets that you put your eggs in because those are your babies. So when it came down to that lightning strike that happened, me getting the BK off, I never was hopeful. I mean, doubtful that it wasn't gonna come off because I've been working with you for a while. I just said when it's time, it's time, and that's all I did, man. Like I just started thinking, okay, I gotta get this stuff going. From anything I ever had happened to my life, if anyone can relate, everyone, no matter if you're rich, poor, black, white, Asia, America, North Pole, South, it doesn't matter where you are. You're going to have some problems the higher you go and the lower you go. But the response is on you. You can't control what comes to you, but you can control the response. Because if you let your emotions dictate you, then you are a master to that person or that entity that's making you be upset or angry and all that other stuff. And you shouldn't have to let that happen. And sometimes it takes a couple trials and tribulations for you to understand that. And some people just don't get it at all. But those who do know that it's not gonna last forever. Like Bruce Lee, he died poor. He was a very, very famous martial artist, but he died poor. Not only did he die poor, he died young, 32. So, and his goal was to be the biggest martial artist known of all time. Of course, he got that after he died, but to this day, people know who Bruce Lee is. Like people
After his
go to
death,
his, yeah, and he was big after he did a couple movies.
like
But
Van
Enter the
Gogh.
Dragon, yeah, but Into the Dragon came out after he died. So that says a lot about Bruce Lee. And Bruce Lee he got books and he got his information from different sources. And he didn't stop believing in what he's trying to do. And sometimes it's bigger than you. And when I look at his life or other people's lives, that makes me reflect on us. Okay, if he had it like that, I mean, granted, he's Asian, right? But because in Asian culture, especially in the Chinese culture, they say that if you're not 100%, then you're just a mixed breed. You're not, no. And or his grandmother was German, but he spoke Mandarin, he spoke Cantonese, but oh no, your grandmother's white. Why does that matter? Shouldn't. Granted. And then he took what he took from Ip Man, and
Yeah, Asians
he
are
could,
really racist.
yes.
You think?
Now, yes, yes. And then he couldn't train him no more. This is the stuff they don't tell you in the movies. He couldn't train him no more, so he had to get his other student. They call him Long Arms. I forgot his name, but his nickname is Long Arms because you couldn't touch him. He was a senior student. He had to train him privately because the other students were making fun of him, calling him a mixed breed, right? And then he took that information, went to San Francisco, opened up his own school, hanging out with brothers, black people. His very first student was a black man who recently died about a year ago, and he was teaching them Wing Chun. When China heard about this, they said, "Oh no, no, you can't teach non-Chinese people this." He said, "I'm gonna do one better. I'm gonna marry a non-Chinese woman." He married a white woman, had two kids, and was training white people, black people. He had to fight a Shaolin monk. It was like bad. This man messed up his lower back. He was paralyzed. Right now, this is just Bruce Lee. That's talked about mainly in Dragon with I forgot that guy's name, Jason Scott Lee, and the other one that MTV did when he had to fight that Shaolin monk. But he persevered. Was what I'm trying to say. I persevered. When you have bankruptcy on your report, you can't get nothing. Like you have to get the buy here, pay here cars, buy here, pay here houses. Like they treat you like you're a common criminal. But once you get that off and you start adding some good history, some good credit, world's your oyster, man. And this is just the beginning. So I wanted to congratulate Andre for his efforts. I didn't do this by myself. I believed in myself, but Andre and his team made it happen twofold. So stand and ovate, like I said before, stand and ovate. Hmm.
Yeah, I'm glad that worked out.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, we're doing a lot of things over here that I'm not even really sure what we're really doing, but it's working because we're doing so many things. There's no like specific way we do anything. We're always approaching it really creative.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, that's how I live life too. I mean, you live long enough to kind of understand, you know, your plans and goals, but then you just got to be receptive to the universe and
yeah,
listen,
hmm,
because the universe
yeah,
will speak to you.
hmm.
Will speak to you through people, God in the universe.
That's right.
The universe is a creation from God. So God
That's right.
will speak to it in like just crazy ways. You might break something in your kitchen, but that mid second changed the whole course of your life from getting in your car and then, or if you've gotten to an accident,
Hmm.
it might have been just a little different for that thing to flip and then snap your head and then you're gone. You know, you can recover,
Because
especially when you're young, but
yeah, yeah.
financially you can
Yeah.
recover. We've proven that we can mess up our credit and correct it, but how many times can we do that? Maybe three times, I think. But after your
Hmm.
30s it gets really hard.
Hmm.
40s, after 40s I heard it gets, I'm not 40 yet, I'm heading there, but I'm
Hmm.
starting to see, yeah, the gray hairs and not as strong as I used to be. So
Yeah.
imagine 20 years from now. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that oh, I think my screen froze. I don't know what happened. Hold on a second. Hold on 1 second. It froze. I don't know why it froze. Give me a second.
You can maybe come out and come back in or flip it, and then flipping it, hitting that button will might reset it.
Let me see.
Your voice is fine though. I can
All right.
hear
Well,
everything.
shoot. I'm gonna keep talking then. So um, what I say is this. Um, you was talking about in the last conversation how you was living in a tent in Northern California,
Yeah, I
and now
still
you're
got
making
footage
close
of
to
that.
and now you're making close to $1 million a year, right? It's a coffee table discussion to have now, just because of the simple fact that this was your way of life then, not now, and that takes some reflection. Like you need to understand, like anybody who wanted to be an astronaut, president, king, queen, whatever, Pulitzer Prize, Nobel Prize, you did it because of the simple fact that you was trying to get something and you had it in your mind to do, and you just found a way. Sometimes the universe or God or whatever you want to call them or it, sometimes it just takes just a matter of thinking and planning. And once you have an idea that you don't want to be broke no more, you're going to find a way not to be broke anymore. And
Yeah, that's
that's
true.
that applies to every freaking thing. Like if you don't want to be broke, you're gonna find ways not to be broke no more. You don't want to be poor. You don't want to be homeless. You want to have a wife, a spouse, a girlfriend. You want to be a martial artist. Bruce Lee he didn't want to be a superstar. He just wanted to train and do his own thing because he was a runt growing up. Right? Jean Claude Van Damme, he's another one. People don't give him credit for being a real martial artist because he's too pretty. And I'm like, bro, John Claude Van Damme can still get handshakes and hugs from everybody because of his movies. He came from nothing too. So, and I look at these people because they're no different than you and I. There's just celebrities and we're not. But the ethics of working that cause them to be bigger than what they are today. And I had to understand that going through my own thing. That's why I said before I like the never ending story. I like stories of you in a situation you don't know how to get out of it. All of a sudden you just figure it out, and it becomes something that you just know. So, and I'm like, okay, I like this.
You have
And
to
I
believe that
reflected.
you can figure it out. You have to
Yes,
believe. A lot of people
that's
get
right.
analysis paralysis and
That's right.
become perfect note takers and planners. You don't want to be
That's
the
right.
perfect planner. You just got to act.
Yeah. Yeah. So and and sometimes most people will doubt themselves because they can't find no one who looks like them, who actually been where they've been. Well, and if you study history, there's always someone who's just like you, who's been where you've been, and you
There's too
see
many
those
people
who.
that have been born for, yeah, there's been a lot of people that have been born. It's a lot of people.
Yes,
There's got to be
yes,
somebody
yes,
that's, pretty similar
yes, yes. If you
situation.
it doesn't matter if it could be. I mean, think of anybody that's been through it. Like when you look at a guy like Dolph Lundgren,
And
he's
that's
an
a little
actor.
bit like too much self-concern. We're really not that special.
Yeah,
We're not that important, and to the point where we can't achieve what we really want to achieve. There's no powerful force that's like cursed us, unless you have created that narrative and preconceived notion and wrote that
yeah.
in your book.
That's
you
right.
can
That's right.
you can
That's
do
right.
that, but you can also change
That's
it.
right. Well, that's the idea because in books, you listen, you're reading a person's perspective from their mindset. So, and it'll change you if you want to change. It's like being hypnosis. It's like being under hypnosis. Only way you'll be under the spell of that is if you submit to it. But if you don't, then you're not. But you have to submit. And anything that you want, you start realizing in hypnosis is real simple. You got to be in a delta state, and all you got to do is
Yeah,
just listen to
that
listen
is
to the
it.
environment, listen to the environment around you, and next thing you know, you're not smoking no more. You're losing weight.
Yep.
Whatever elements that you have, you're literally telling your subconscious or the person who's talking is talking to your subconscious to make you not do that anymore, and then that wakes you up.
Cold turkey is the
You know?
best way. Cold
Yes.
turkey everything, starting a new habit, breaking it, and it's that
Yeah.
quick, it's that powerful. Your life can
Yeah.
change just like that. I can't
Yes.
snap my fingers because my right hand's broken from boxing. It's been broken
Hmm.
for like a few months, but I'm trying to
Wow.
snap.
Wow.
um, but your life can totally change, and the more you believe that, you're going to have joy when you wake up, because um, it could change just like that, and that's going to heighten your frequency to the max. When you smile at people, when you give people energy, become a giver. Because if you want more energy and you're lacking energy, it's because you're not giving the energy that you want. When you want to become stronger, when you want more muscle, you got to put that thing through pain. You got to put pain upon yourself, inflict pain upon yourself for you to be strong. If you want
That's
money,
right.
you got to put services out to
That's
get
right.
revenue back in. And that's
Hmm.
how I'm motivated, because honestly what I do is so boring, typing, and I really don't like it. But now I'm in my flow because people like you, my
Yeah.
clients, the
Yeah.
relationships are getting so much better. I'm able to
Yeah.
travel anywhere I want and still be
Yeah.
responsive to my clients, and they're
Yeah.
appreciative and they're getting results. It's not just me being a nice guy and them being a nice guy, and it's actually a business. We're getting
That's right.
results. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
steak and potatoes.
Yeah. Pain. You don't know pain until you experience pleasure. You don't know pleasure until you experience pain. It's the polarity of the two that makes it one. And when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, um, I take this from 50 Cent's book, 50th Law. He says there was a time where I had to like depend on my own energy just because no one else believed in what I saw, what I was trying to do. And, they'll say, well, there's no one I can depend on or go to. If I go home, who's there going to help me? Me? I'm already here. So I got to depend on me. And sometimes you have to do that. And some people will give up just because they got to depend on themselves. But if you're strong enough,
It's
regardless of
empowering.
the
Empower
yes,
yourself. That's
yes,
God's connection.
yes,
It's really
yes,
it's really
yes.
just you receiving God's blessing, because
Hey,
you don't want to get your head too big, because then you'll shoot yourself in the foot. you
yeah,
know
yeah, 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 yeah. It's
that's
humbling
how I
either
screwed
way.
myself up, because the devil's always testing you. When I got
Yeah, like
blessings,
yeah,
man, It didn't change me, but I failed some tests,
Yeah,
and
like
then
I mean, look, yeah, I mean, look at
yeah,
Tyson. Tyson was the youngest heavyweight in the known world. He got a gold medal and everything. He was called Kid Dynamite because he was fast. And then he thought no one could beat him. And then the one person that they never thought he would beat, that he would get beaten by, beat him up.
he was
Now,
distracted.
yes, he
He was
was.
distracted.
Yes, he
Otherwise, he would have
was.
tore everybody up. But he did.
Yes, he was.
He
But he didn't
just
train. He didn't train.
no,
He didn't practice. He didn't get no
no.
sleep. He was hanging out with Bobby Brown, messed with some Japanese girls, and he said, I gotta do this fight real quick in Tokyo." And he thought he was gonna win, and that humbled him. He said when he had negative $60 million, it humbled him because he said for the first time in my life, people didn't ask me for money, and I can honestly say I don't have it. Instead of trying to figure out a way to say, well, I can't get it to you right now, he actually didn't have it, and now he's worth more than he ever was when he was boxing, and that's inspiring to me. Now, there's many other stories like this.
He needed to
Sylvester
go through that.
Stallone, yeah, he had to. Yes, yes, he had to. So Sylvester Stallone, same thing. Rocky was his very first movie. He sold his dog, he sold his car just to make the Rocky movie, right? And then when he was trying to look for actors to play Rocky, Sylvester's like, I could do it. They're like, nah, we're gonna get someone like Robert Redford or Ryan O'Neal. Like, no, Ryan O'Neal. No. But I wrote the story, right? Later that year, he got an Oscar for a screenplay for writing Rocky, an Oscar. Okay, very first movie. Okay, that's just another example. There's so many more, but I look at these people and I see their ethics. Look at how this man's almost 80 years old. He's still working. He don't have to work. He's stupid rich, but he works because that's his ethic. Arnold, same thing. Jean Claude Van Damme, same thing. Pick anybody. 50 Cent, he's another one. They're hard workers. Look at their ethics. They've always had this in them to work. Even they're rich. Even though they're as rich as they are, they still working. Look at Andre, broken hand and all. He's still working. He's still
Yeah, I
working.
found a passion because
Hey,
before
hey,
it's like work. Now it's to the point where now I it's like a lifestyle. I love what I'm doing, and that was tough because
yeah,
I think months ago I hated like wasn't loving life. I was just like
uh,
pretending. I would say
yeah,
probably like 3 months ago is when I started loving life again. Now I got
yeah,
my team and all this stuff happening. Um, yeah, so every day is refreshing, and it's like I'm living for other people. That's what gives me
yeah,
energy. It's
yeah,
not like I got to
yeah,
help these people. It's like I get to help these people. It's like
yeah,
it's an enjoyment. It's an
yeah.
enjoyment.
And then also you pay it forward, you get it back tenfold because anybody that you help that you know can actually like. I recall I can count on my one hand how many people who can actually, and we just saying nice things about me growing up. I'm not even talking about giving me any financial assistance, or we're talking about just people who just said, "Have a nice day." Like that's as far as it went as a compliment, let alone support. But I had to feed them my own energy, and the sad part is that it's not really sad. It's more or less like a learning exercise. You have to understand that the world don't owe you no favors. And they don't have. It doesn't have to save you. You have to save you. And when you start showing that through your lifestyle, through your daily life. It exudes. It's like a sun. The sun, the sun is hot, but the sun is 93 million miles away, and it's 93 degree. It's 93 degrees where I'm at. That's how hot the sun is, and it's 93 million miles away. That's pretty hot. It's kind of like that. You exude this positive energy, and people see that, and it motivates people, dead or alive. Doesn't matter to me, because no matter what happens to me, I know if I keep believing in myself, I'm going to be all right. And I have many people who want to take that energy for themselves, but you can't duplicate what I am because I am what I am.
You got to be Abraham in the fire.
Hey,
That's it.
Mo-
I
Moses in
love
the
that
burning
story.
bush. Yes, sir.
I love that. I love that because
Yes,
it's
sir.
not you against the world.
No.
It that's a different way to spin it. It's more like you're happy with who you really are, and
That's
nobody
right.
can touch you, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to
Yeah.
destroy the world, you against the world. It is that way, but not in a negative, common sense. It's just that you have found yourself. You know that statue of Siddhartha? He's by the tree, and all those
Mm-hmm.
forces,
Mm-hmm.
Maras,
Mm-hmm.
and all
Mm-hmm.
these
Mm-hmm.
guys are coming at him, and he's just
Mm-hmm.
chilling.
The Bodhi,
You know,
yeah, the Bodhi tree. Yeah,
the boat is here.
yeah,
Yeah,
yep, yep,
it's
yep.
it's just like that.
Because to piggyback off of Abraham, they try to murder Abraham because of the simple fact that he was teaching a way of life, a new philosophy that they wasn't used to traditionally. So they said, since we can't stop him from telling this objective perspective about life and God and the universe, let's just kill him.
All the
So they did.
prophets,
Yes,
they were
yes,
plotting against all
yes,
the prophets
yes,
from
yes.
Abraham to Christ.
That's right. So when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, take that as a story and inject yourself as Abraham, as a Muhammad, as a Jesus, as an Elias, as a Lot, as a Noah. Put yourself in that story. What would you do if he was them? Would you still teach God tell you to do? Ask yourself, and then see if you would be the same person. Most people won't do it. Most people has this thing called a cargo cult or a group complex where you just do what they do because you're not trying to stand. Well, Noah was known as a Moses was a murderer. Let's just call facts what it is, right? But he took the roughest, toughest, most dysfunctional people and made them messengers. Why? Because that means you could do the same thing too. That's why. So if your default is drinking or women or smoking, doing drugs, whatever it is, well, this is your lows of the low. Now, what's your highs of the high? Who's gonna get you out of it? Sometimes it's through people. Sometimes it's through mortality. Sometimes it's through financial means, right? But whatever that is, now it may take a few times for you to get that. But did you get that? Is the question. Did you get that? Yeah? Cool. You gonna fix it. Okay, how you gonna fix it? Now you got a plan. And most people don't even want to do that much work. And that's even not even hard to do. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
Now I'm thinking, instead of instead of uh instead of how can I criticize and judge this person,
Yeah.
how can I help them for the better and change, help them. How
Mm-hmm.
can I help them in a way that's productive and change them?
Mm-hmm.
Assuming that if you find someone with a problem, or
Mm-hmm.
you just, how can I make a solution? How can I create a solution? Not just
Yeah.
go to war because you found a problem.
Most people are
To win,
naturally
to win the
yeah.
war is just the war of yourself and not going to war, because war is costly anyway on both
Well,
sides.
it's costly for those who participate, but it's not costly for those who started it. It's pretty high in ROI, unfortunately. But the
Yeah.
thing is this: if you understand the rules of war, like the rules of the street, the rules of the corporate world, and the rules of the street, and the rules of war, they're all the same if you understand the rules. And but Farrakhan said it best. Not Farrakhan, Elijah Muhammad. Elijah Muhammad, the Nation of Islam, said that those who beat a person while they're down are the worst demons that you'll ever meet in your life. If a person dies and you speak they always say don't never speak ill of the dead. But the people who die, who actually shook the world, and you speak bad about them, but you didn't say nothing when they was alive, that says a lot about your character, right? Irregardless of what's going on in the world today, I have my reservations towards people that I can't stand or like, but I will never say it out publicly because that's not something of a godly nature. I could
Mm.
be like that and speak bad about people and say, I could do that because naturally I am prejudicial, not racist, but prejudicial. Like I will prejudge people based on what I see. But that's my reservations that I have to put into place because I know they're in a dark space, and I know that they're going to get out of it if they want to. But if they come at me sideways, I will tell you about yourself, but I just won't do it publicly. I'll do it privately. And like, but look here, man. I didn't tell you to say that. I didn't say nothing to you. Why you coming at me like this? Well, no, 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 no. Listen. I'm old school. Okay, you got issues. I got issues. Let's talk it out. Let's not go on social media. Let's not. I'm not doing that. Nope. So if you don't want to do that, leave me alone because you're messing up my energy right now. You're messing up my zen. Old Zabe, I would have handled it a little differently. I would have just pulled up and say, "Let's go. What's happening?" But I'm older now. I can't keep fighting that way like a young man because I'm not a young man anymore. So I have to think. Why I have to use the knowledge that I've attained, the wisdom that I've achieved, and process the understanding in order for me to grow spiritually. And I can't do that by every person who gets on my nerves. Sometimes I just keep quiet, and sometimes I let bygones be bygones and forgive myself for that person. Because if I don't do that, I'll never get ahead in any way,
Don't give
spiritually,
them more
physically.
focus to God. God's
There you go.
grace and power and
There you
immense
go.
energy can drown out
Yes, sir.
any of this fuck shit. Any
Yes, sir.
any fuckery out there. If someone's saying
Yeah.
this, doing this, I used to think it's like retreating or being a coward by not doing anything about it. You always have to confront, but it's like, hey, especially in this day and age, you don't want to catch a case, but
Now
that's an
everyone's
extreme.
shooting. No one's throwing these hands. No one's catching face no more. They're throwing blinkies. So
things
it's
things
not.
can things can end real quick, can
Yeah.
escalate. So at the end of the day, it's
Mhm.
like protect yourself,
Mhm.
but also beyond the world of the physical is the world of the supernatural, the divine God. And when you think about it, how could you let any human take away your connection, divine connection with God? Don't allow them. Don't cast your pearls to swine. Don't give your energy to these people. That's basically what it is. We're blessed with this
Mhm.
life and energy, and don't
Yeah.
give that energy to anyone else. And people would be so desperate and cry to get it.
Yeah.
They'll irk you when the hate is not working. They'll start to spread lies and expect
Yeah.
you to toy with them and fight back with them, but just let them speak for themselves. People can, we all have a right. God gave us a mouth and two hands. We all can speak and act on our own. We don't got to act or speak for anybody else. That's their life. Let everyone speak their piece, and you can always remain silent as well.
Yeah. Well, if you're talking about, well, you understand from a perspective of knowing things. Um, 80% of the people that you know in your life won't know as much as you do, and the other 20% will either know as much as you or more. The minority is always that because majority of the world don't want to know anything. They don't want to change. And knowing that, that tells me a lot about what I have to do with my life in order for me to be part of the 20%. I'd rather be part of the 20% and just because it makes sense. Like I said before, like minds, like minds. Hurt people, hurt people. Misery loves company. These are sayings that's been around for eons. Why do misery love company? Because they're miserable. That's it. I told you this privately, but I could talk about it publicly. I said, you know how many people hate God right now? And you think God cares? He ain't thinking about you because he's God. You know how many people hate the devil?
To hate God, you're validating that he, acknowledging that he exists. Like,
Hey.
I don't know if Satan hates God. Yeah, he does. I think he's Satan is the narcissist, right? Like
Well, to well, if you're just talking about
the
the
spoiled
story,
child that thinks he's so special and owes him.
it's deeper than that. He actually is one of the few that actually followed his rules, and
At
he
one point
wanted,
in time,
yeah. Well, not just one point in time. He said not to bow down to anyone that's beneath him. But he's saying this is my greatest creation, so we have to bow down to it. But you said not to bow down to nothing except you. So it became an antagonist type of perspective because it's like you said to do this, but you mean to do this. So it becomes he say, she say, even though that's not what you said. And to be quite honest, the devil doesn't hate God. Watch any movie, like really watch it, like Devil's Advocate or Rosemary's Baby or The Exorcist. Really, really watch these movies.
Could you just be
He
playing a
doesn't
role?
he just playing what's in his nature. He doesn't hate God. He hates man,
He's doing his bidding.
right? There you go.
It's our
Because
test.
it there you go. Because you gotta remember, the devil in the Bible didn't kill anybody. God did all that.
Hmm. Huh.
Yes. There's and there was a meeting that Prophet Muhammad had with the devil one time. They don't talk about that.
Well, the God
Do the
can,
research.
devil can only whisper, right, into our ears.
Well, it's deeper than that. So if you get into the actual context of it, um, you got to think of hell and heaven, right? Hell is different for different people. Like you may like hamburgers, they may like steak. Heaven, that's their heaven, right? But your hell might be you don't like mustard, but they do like mustard, right? Now that's on a micro scale. When it comes to the devil, it's based on what you can't stand about you. That will agonize, that will literally will be on your right shoulder, telling you what you should do rationally. I give you a different perspective. The Joker and Batman, right? And the Dark Knight. Um, if you remember that scene in the investigation room, the interrogation room, the Joker and Batman were talking to each other, and Joker was coming up with some very good ideas about. He said, to you right now, you're just a freak like me, but they need you, so they're gonna treat you as such. But when they don't need you, they're gonna treat you like a leper.
That was a
They're gonna treat
damn
they're gonna
good movie, man. That was a
yes,
masterpiece.
yes, yes.
I
So
watched the
that
new
particular
Joker yet last night. It was great, but it's not
I
that. It's not Batman
don't
Begins.
don't
It's
don't
not.
tell don't tell me I'm gonna watch it tonight. So
Okay,
we're gonna
okay,
talk
okay.
about that. But anyway, back to that scene. That scene was him, his ego talking to his super ego, his conscious talking to his subconscious. You thought the Joker and Batman was actually in that room talking. No, they was actually that was actually Bruce Wayne talking to the Joker and Batman, right? But that's from a third eye perspective.
Yeah,
He was trying to tell him, you look like a freak wearing a cape and cowl, working at night, trying to capture freaks like me. You don't understand. Only reason you're getting away with this is because they need you right now. When they don't need you, they will throw you away. They will treat you like they're treating me now. I'm telling you that right now. And Batman was like, no, that's not true. Okay. And exactly what happened. What happened at the end of the movie? They treated him like a leper. They thought he killed Harvey Dent. They thought this. They thought that because they didn't
they
need him
threw him
anymore.
under the bus.
There you go. That's what that's about. See, the devil is usually needed when you want to do all the dirty stuff, the dark stuff.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, you want problems. Like if you want that promotion on your
Dealing with the
job, but you
devil, it goes,
hey
it fires back. It ain't worth
hey
it. There's no ROI
hey,
with the devil.
come on, man.
Whatever you signed with him, whatever you've, it's gonna fuck you later on. Don't even
Hey
sign it.
hey hey. So when it comes down to the science of it all, I always tell people this: regardless of your day being bad or not, what is your accomplishment? What are you trying to accomplish? Focus on that. If you focus on the bad, you're gonna get bad results. It's like Murphy's law, right? What's Murphy's law? That's exactly what's gonna happen to you if you think that way. So if you think good, you think good's gonna happen.
It's so simple, but
Abraham,
it works. It works. It
yes,
totally works. It's not being naive. It's not being weird. It works. It's
that's right.
it's so simple. It's such a simple thing to smile. If you want,
Hmm.
just start smiling. Start being nicer, and nice things will
Yeah,
happen.
yeah,
It's so simple.
yeah. And then also you gotta remember when it comes down to at the end of the day, Buddha said this is in the Quran as well. It's in most all scriptures. Never go too extreme and never go too passive. Find your middle way. Find the middle passage and be consistent in that, and you'll go far. So And all that means is, some people may take their lifestyle very serious and some won't. But what's the middle ground between the two? Do that consistently and you'll get to where you need to be. Like if you're not a smiler, smile once a week. See what happens. If you don't like helping people, help those that you think might need it. Not everyone. Just those who might need it. Start there. If
That's a good
someone's
strategy.
at, I mean, it's just everyone has a trigger. Because if you've experienced trauma, you have a trigger, a button that's pushed. Once it's pushed, you just lose it, right? Now, in psychology, they call it you got passive, neutral, or extremely aggressive, right? Whatever you are is what happened the first time that happened to you, that trauma. Now, you have triggers and you have something called glimmers. Glimmers is the same as triggers, but it actually makes you happy, not sad or extremely aggressive. It actually makes you extremely happy or extremely content. It's called a glimmer. So, like if watching waves on the ocean makes you happy, that's a glimmer. Watching a cute baby walking, that's a glimmer. Or watching a puppy, or watching something cute, or something that's awe-inspiring, that's a glimmer. This actually triggers your brain to think positive thoughts, no matter who you are. It's when you start thinking negative, is when it goes back to where you was before, if not worse. And this is what they do in the 12 Steps program. First, acknowledging who you are and why you're here. And the steps, eventually you have to talk to those who you've wronged. To the 12th step, where you know you're not perfect, but you're trying to be the best you can be with what you got. This is all psychological. It's all in the mind. But that takes practice, time, and recognition. And some need to see it in order to understand that you can do it too. And most people, like most people, kids, they don't listen to what you say. They watch what you do. Adults is no different. Some adults need to see a person actually do the work to see if it's possible for them to do the work. That's why there's fans out there and celebrities, because you're like, man, how did they do that? Well, what did they do? How did they get there? Same as you, Andre. You know different. How did you get there? How did you make it happen? You found a way. And when you tell your story and it inspires a select few people, guess what's going to happen to them? Now they're going to do it because of you. And you was chosen because you had to do it. No matter what happened, no matter what trauma you've been through, you had to do it to inspire others to do it. I'm no different either. If if I was a lazy freeloader, my son would be a lazy freeloader.
You get it through
That's how it
people.
worked.
You get it through people. You meet the people that will bring you to the right people. It's like a
Yeah,
fish trying to smell its way back home. You start to
that's right.
smell, is this person good? Okay,
That's
this
right.
is the best person that treats you good. You stay with them. And then you branch off to someone that they know that's doing business, and then you help them. And they're going to
That's
make
right.
sure you're treated in that, sphere of influence, that closed system of people where they all treat each other the same way, and then they're going to connect you with the other person, and that's going to
Yeah,
lead to something else.
yeah,
And yeah, it's people. People are the way. You have to make friends with the right people, and they have to give you the opportunity. Because I like I said, like I say, it's 2024. It's not,
yeah,
1904.
yeah,
We choose who we want to work with. We're not
yeah,
forced to do shit right now. No one's
yeah.
forced to do business with anyone. No one's forced to help it. We're not slaves. We're not,
No,
enforced labor. We have the freedom of choice
yeah,
to work with anyone that we want to, and it's a matter of finding the right people for you,
yeah. And
right?
also, yeah, and also, I go back to movies a lot because I watch a lot of movies. It's just another Matrix. Um, Once you know this is a Matrix, this is all an illusion. Now you got to figure out your place in it and how can you escape from it. And you're gonna run into people who's already did it or about to do it or don't even know they want to do it. But once you know your place in the world, then it makes it real interesting how you can just leave. and figure things out. Have these retreats, have these long go on periods of of reflection of trying to figure out what I was supposed to do in this world. Like I remember in Men in Black with Will Smith, the very first one, and he saw his first alien. He thought it was a human, and it was an alien. And then he was actually recruited by Tommy Lee Jones to join the MIB. And he had there was a scene where he was sitting on the bench looking at the bridge during sunset, because he had to reflect to see if he really wanted to do something like that, because he started to realize there's not just humans on this world, there's aliens. He has no kids, he has no wife, it's just him. And then he made a decision the next day to join the MIB, even though part of him died that day, because he was no longer a cop anymore. And he didn't have no fingerprints, and he only had one suit and one pair of glasses. But it changed him because he found his place in life. Neo, the Matrix, same thing. He did not want to be the one, but he became the one based on the people he was around: Morpheus, Trinity, Cipher, Tank, Mouse. Right? They all made Neo what he is today. Without them, he wouldn't be Neo. Same with Luke Skywalker. Same with Darth Vader. Same. Pick a movie. I'm gonna show you their friends. What made them who they are. That's how this works, man. Like, this is a pattern that's been going on for eons, and it doesn't matter which book or movie you watch. It's the same story. Pick one that you like and rinse and repeat. And trust me, it's gonna work. Like, I didn't know bankruptcy can come off a credit report. They said 7 to 10 years. I didn't know until I saw it with my own eyes. And sometimes it takes just that to realize the possibilities. And now it's like, okay, but then guess what? This I'm not done. I got more to do. But I learned that from stories and books and movies and music, that it's not just one thing, but it's because success is short for the word succession, right? So success, people think it means, oh, you finally made it. No, succession is not, you didn't make it. You have to go to something else. You got to this goal. Now there's another goal right in front of you. You got to go to that one. You got to, and it doesn't stop. It's like it's like a circle. It's like anything that's ongoing and infinite. It doesn't stop unless you stop, and that's how success works. Even if you get to a pinnacle of your career, of your potential, right? That's based on you stopping, because there's more than meets the eye. That's a Transformers reference. Um, there's more than meets the eye. You know, that's how this works. And not everyone's built like that. But sometimes it takes an Andre, it takes a Zayd, it takes someone that you know to know that it is possible, regardless of what regardless of what the mitigating circumstances are. It is possible. You just got to know that going in. And like the guy you was talking to the other night, um, the guy who's gonna be your new client. I watched that live feed, by the way. Um, he was
Oh,
convinced.
yeah, Bobby.
He was convinced by his friend that was working with you that you legit. And by him seeing what his friend was going through, he experienced it before he met with you. He experienced the bad parts of credit repair, but then something in him wanted him to keep going to find someone to fix his credit. Because
Don't give
if you,
up.
some people, there you go. That's an example of what I'm talking about. He knew in his mind he did not want to have a low credit score. He knew in his mind, even though I got burned, I know someone out there who I can trust. And look what happened. Now, he may not believe it, he may not know it, but I'm telling you, listen. I watched that video a few times. Everything he's ever said, he already knew in his mind what he was going to do, because it was just a natural occurrence of him trying to make it happen. He just had to find the right person, and all of a sudden it just showed up to him through his friend, to you, and look what happened. Boom. That's what this is about.
There's a channel
Because
that says he's a paid actor. Oh man,
you get in the world, you're gonna have haters and the detractors, man. Because let me tell you something. No matter how you bury the
they're
truth,
probably saying you're a paid actor too. Wow, some people are
Hey,
delusional.
hey, let me explain something to you. If I'm not getting haters, I'm not known enough.
Yeah, that's a good core. That's a good indicator. That's like you got to expect. It's like you got to expect that. Um,
Yes, yes.
when yeah, if people are not, if you're not successful, then no one's going to say shit about you. There's always going to be someone that hates you. Christ, the probably the, I mean, a significant human, sinless in nature. Um, they crucified him. They hated him. So, like, even if you are sinless, people are going to hate you. So, those people that
Hmm.
may commentate or feel like some type of way, like, nobody hates me. No, you're fake. Or you have no spine. You know, you
Hmm.
can't be a people pleaser all the time. You have to be honest and real with the world. That you know, some people are just going to hate you no matter what you do. If you're broke, they're going to call you a bum. But if you're super rich, they're going to call you a crook, a scammer. It doesn't matter where you're at in the social status, financial status. They're always going to say something bad about you, right?
Of course, of
Because that's
course.
just who they are.
Well, like I said, if you are looking up, because if God is living in the sky and you're looking up at God and you hate God and God is not paying attention to you, that's because you're not paying attention to yourself. But if you're on the same level as God, God ain't paying attention to you, you ain't paying attention to God because you're focusing on yourself. But if you got time to talk about God because of what he didn't do for you, you're going to blame the wrong person. You're blaming yourself. That's how this works. Because there's a reason there's a hierarchy of things. And no matter what you think,
Mm.
no matter where you are in the world, if you hate someone just based on your own experiences, that's because that's your perspective. That doesn't make it absolute. It doesn't. It doesn't make it absolute. Like you gotta understand, like for me, everyone's uh words that they use is based on their own perception of the world. Everyone is not gonna see the world as rainbows.
Hey, your mic.
Ev-
Okay, is it coming back?
Everyone's calling me. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, it was a call. Okay.
Yeah, everyone. Yeah, everyone. I guess when people see me on this live, people like to call. Oh man. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, yeah. So like if being that you're on YouTube and like you could be an angel flying and someone's gonna talk about how bad your wings are in their way. Okay, you could be a rock sitting on the curb, ain't bothering nobody, but a bike trips over you. They'll blame the rock for you being in this way. So it's not the rock, it's not the angel wings, it's you, right? But let's flip it around. The guy who came to you, who did that live with you, right? He didn't have to call you, let alone go on the live, let alone say he's going to be a client. He could have just said, "Oh, my friend got good credit. That's fantastic," and went his merry way. But he didn't do that. He said, I'm inspired. I need to get this fixed." So he came to you, mind you. He already had a bad taste in his mouth with other credit repair companies, who probably didn't do anything to his credit at all. Now he didn't have to, is what I'm saying. But it's all about choice. I chose, knowing and seeing what you've been doing for years, to have a conversation and say, this is 2024. This is the year of change. This is the year of revealing the truth. Let me get my stuff right. And things start happening from
Yeah,
there.
Kareem, another guy. I'm actually working on a video. It won't be a live, but I have
Okay.
the video right here. Let me show you. Is this the video? Yeah, I think it is. Maybe it is. No, this is a different video. I'm actually working on a video here. Just there, you saw it.
Okay.
About a guy named
Okay.
Kareem. He's been watching me for 4 years,
Yeah.
and yeah, he pulled the plug. He joined. He hired me personally. You've been watching me. You said for some time too.
Yes, I have. Yep. Yep.
Guys, don't wait. Start now. Start today. Start soon. We have two programs: Fast Track Elite, $299 down, $99 a month, or you can hire me personally for $1,500 a month. We could set up payments. Three 2 weeks apart, three payments. 1,500 to 5 grand is like the per is like the ballpark figure. Depends upon like your situation. You
Okay.
will get an ROI. I promise. I'm not here to scam anyone, and I'm not going to BS you. Like if I'm not going to put myself in a situation where I take your money and I'm like, oh, I can't fucking produce because I don't want to deal with that headache. I don't really want that on my conscience either. I don't want that stress. Man, I love sleeping good at night, and I don't like to fuck that up. No money is worth amount of my sleep.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I'll be frank with you. And if you don't want to go ahead and hire me personally, you can do the Fast Track Elite baby steps. I'll show you some results. And then all that money you spend in the Fast Track Elite program will be prorated to the hire me personally. So if you've been in my, you know, Fast Track program for multiple months, like 3 months, we minus the 299 enrollment fee plus the multiple months. Let's say 3 months, so that's $600 off the 1,500, assuming that it's $1,500 to work with you, and then you only have to pay $900. And then if you can't even have, if you don't even have $900, we can break the $900 into two payments of 400 2 weeks apart. Man, I'm so nice. So there's no excuse. I mean, if you need to fix your credit, you don't need to go to any other company. I'm just letting you know. Don't risk it. If you listen to all these people's stories, there's a high likelihood that you're going to be disappointed and you're not going to get the results. That's what we do know. If we look at all the customers that I've worked with on my live, I have hundreds of videos on YouTube. Hundreds of videos on YouTube. And by the way, we're going to do another live later to promote your book because we
Appreciate it.
got the God.
Appreciate it.
I can't take credit for it. God got the BK off. We got the BK off. It came off.
Yeah.
AK is going to come now, right? We got
Hey.
next is the 8K. So
Hey.
God handled that. Now God's going to handle. This is not difficult for God. This is not difficult at all. You know,
And
we.
that's why I said what I said, because for me, even though, see, the thing is this: I don't do nothing. I don't talk about something I don't know, and I don't do something that I don't believe in. I know the children's book's gonna come, gonna happen regardless. But
I didn't know I could get
I
your
have.
BK off. I had faith though. Knowing
So
is
did
not.
I.
Knowing is not. Knowing is when it's there. It's there,
Yeah.
right? You
Yeah.
have it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Faith is
Well,
not knowing, but it's knowing in your heart, but it
mhm.
hasn't happened yet. You're just pulling it out of that, supernatural realm and having it manifest in this physical realm. You're just pulling it out. It's like it's like an orgasm. It's just
I mean,
coming
I mean,
and
I
then
mean,
boom.
if it's weak, then no bueno. Especially if
Yeah.
you don't like her.
Yes.
But I pulled from the Book of Clarence. It's a movie that came out um, about a year ago. Knowledge is more powerful than belief. Why? Because of the simple fact you already know what's going to happen because you've done it before. Belief has no type of examples that you can pull from because it's just based on your own energy, and you hope that you can persevere no matter what happens. But if you already know that a BK can come off, or you know by pulling out late you're going to get a girl pregnant with no condom, or if you drive without a license, you can this get caught. Like, this is knowledge over belief. Now, belief is, uh, I'm gonna get a job today. Unless you already know in the back of your mind that someone's actually gonna call you and make you start work today, you have no idea if you're gonna work today. But it's good to know that if you apply yourself, you can eventually get to work, but you can't say it's gonna be today. You don't know. That's belief. But that's with anything. I had to understand and take the belief in the knowledge and the understanding and the wisdom that I wanted my credit to be better. I know, not that I believe, I know bad credit gets you nothing but more headache. Good credit, it's quite the opposite. You're still going to have issues, but not the issues that requires that bad credit gives you. Like it'd be nice to
Different
actually have a low
challenges
payment.
ahead.
There you go. More money, more problems. What Biggie Smalls said back in the day. So I believe that in order for me to get ahead, I have to put my best foot forward. Right? Faith without works is dead. Well, that sounds like a Bible quote. Sounds true to me. Asking you shall receive, seeking you shall find, knocking and the door will be open to you. That's another Bible quote. So all I'm saying is that when it comes down to it, Andre and I only know him for a short amount of time. We talk like we're brothers. We talk like this for hours on end because we're steel sharpens steel, iron sharpens iron, and he knows some stuff that I don't know, and I know some stuff he doesn't know. But that's what makes us complete because we're trying to not act like we know everything, but we're trying to be engaged and trying to make us better. That's it.
Kindred
And eh,
spirits.
there you go, man.
There's no competition. There's no
There
jealousy.
you, hey, and that's
You
the
know,
thing. And that's the
to,
thing
for,
is like when you,
to be jealous of each other would be to be jealous of your brother would be to hurt yourself. Would be hurting yourself. To compete with him
yeah,
would be competing with yourself. Be taken away from your to steal from your brother is like stealing from yourself,
that's
because
right.
you
That's right.
cut from the same cloth.
That's right. And the thing is, he bleeds red, I bleed red. So that tells you right there how related we are just by the iron content in our blood. So when it comes down to the I forgot the other lady's name with the cats. She, same thing. She didn't know, but she still was seeking to find someone to fix her credit. I mean,
Oh, the
I'm pulling it.
dogs. You mean Jill Beeler? Yeah,
Oh, the dogs. Yeah, the dogs. That's right. The dog.
dogs.
No,
I have the cats. She has the dogs. I have the cats. But
that's
I
right.
know where
That's
you were
right.
going. You
Yeah,
heard correctly.
yeah. So, and she got burned a few times, and she still was doing it. So,
I said
okay.
a prayer for her too. I
Hey,
prayed. I prayed. I didn't. I put it in God's hands. I swear.
that's right.
No one else is doing that on YouTube. They're telling you, hey, talk to the bank and get this letter and mail this shit out. No, I'm
Yeah,
just gonna be frank with you. I just put my forehead on the ground. That's it, and
yeah,
then
yeah, yeah,
type something on the computer. I'm
yeah.
not even
The thing
lying.
is, yeah, but the thing is, the initial response was she decided to go forth and work with you, regardless of the stuff that she's been going through. Right? There's people who like, and I make this is the statistics that blew my mind. 6 out of 10 people in the country in America go experience trauma on a day-to-day basis, and I'm like, that's crazy. 60% of the American population experiences trauma. That's crazy. But how
Divorce
many
rate
of
is up
those
there.
people? Yes, it is. But how many people, statistically speaking, persevered through the trauma to become successful in their life? They don't talk about that in the news. They talk about the negative because
Mm.
that's what brings you down. That's it. So, and that's okay. But that's what movies are for. That's what music is for. That's what finding a glimmer is for. You got to find something that makes you happy and rinse and repeat. And trust me, once you understand that philosophy, it makes perfect sense. Perfect sense. When the Buddha was enlightened, right, he had to go through the three poisons, the three demons, the three deadly flowers. It's different depending on the translation. And once he conquered his demons, his three demons, major demons, he was enlightened. And it took him almost 10, 15 years. This man grew up in royalty. He was a prince. And this man went from that to being very poor, very living on meager means, and he figured it out. He found a
That's an
middle
amazing
way.
story.
Hmm.
It's an amazing story.
Yes, yes, yes. And mind you, he left his wife, he left his child, he left his money. That's crazy. Just to find yourself. Okay, that's
From
okay.
riches to rags. It's like
Literally.
when you get rich the first time and then you lose all of it. Oh, that's worse than what you when then before you had
Yeah,
nothing, before you had
that's right.
anything.
That's
It hurts. I experienced that, and then I went back
mm-hmm.
to the tent, just like Siddhartha. That story actually
Yep.
inspired me, but it
Yeah.
sucks. His
Yeah.
story is a lot different, but it's just, you know, it's tough. It's tough to do that. Why would you? You have everything.
Well, the thing is this: is that because he was coddled, he didn't know any better. So he thought if he suffered, this will right his sins. Because he thought he was sinning, being rich and having all the lax luxury. He thought that was a sin for him. But it wasn't a sin. It was just you was born under a rich family. And his father was trying to secure him from seeing stuff like that because he didn't think he needed to see it. But when he realized, when the first thing he saw when he came out the palace walls, he saw a dead person, like within feet of the palace walls. Then he saw a homeless person. Then he saw people begging for money. He said, "Who are these people?" He said, "Well, that's a beggar. He's dead, and they're poor." He's like, "What's poor mean?" He didn't even know what poor meant. And he's like, "This is a person who doesn't have any means to survive, and they living on ill-gotten means." And he was like, "What am I? You're not poor. I think I deserve to be poor." And he took him 15 years to realize, no, you don't have to be poor. Just don't attach yourself to this world. Dukkha is what they call it. Dukkha. Do not attach yourself to this world. For the root of all suffering is attachment. That's what he says. So
Yeah, yeah.
that's it. That's it. Because if you go to the Bible, Jesus was the same way. All he had was a bowl, a comb, sandals, and um, a thobe. That's it. He walked off. He saw someone. He saw someone combing their hair with their fingers. He gave the comb away. He saw a kid scooping soup with their own hands. He gave the bowl away. Right. And then he saw an old lady walking to the marketplace with no shoes on. He gave his sandals away. Now he not giving the stove away because you're gonna be naked. But he gave what he had to those who didn't have. Now that's in the Bible too, because he wasn't attached to the bowl and the comb, and he wasn't attached. He's, I can get that. I ain't worried about that. I can just get another bowl. You lose money today, you'll find a way to get money again. If you lost it today, you'll get it again. You just got to find a way.
Feeling the
And
peace is
most people,
priceless.
yes,
No
yes,
matter what, no matter how much money you have, no matter
that's right.
when you're in pain and suffering and you're about to die, if you're not in the state of Islam or peace
Yeah,
and, going out calmly, that sucks. That
it
sucks.
does. It does. But you know, you have to learn. Like,
You have to practice every day.
yeah,
It's
that's
it's
right.
tough. I'm trying my
Right. So
best.
yeah, because the thing is this: no matter, see, you didn't choose to be what you are. You just happen to be what you are. Now, once you understand that not everyone's gonna like you, okay, you're not gonna say I'm gonna hate everyone. No, just feel the vibe. See if it's a connection that you need to have with this person, male or female, doesn't matter. And if the
Detachment to
vibe's there,
their opinions. It's irrelevant.
they
Quiet the
they
noise.
I
Neither
mean
good
I
or
mean oh
bad.
yeah,
It's just noise. Are they awakened?
that's right.
Like,
That's
y-
right.
are they enlightened? It's just
That's right.
noise.
That's
It's
right.
no judgment at all. Just it's
That's right.
irrelevant. That is the
That's
true
right.
power of peace. They become
That's right.
absolutely irrelevant. They're the
Because
ones
some
to
people
use.
that's right, because some people will never apologize for what they did to you anyway.
That's true.
Right?
And if they
They
apologize, sometimes they're just apologizing to save face, and it's for them.
yeah,
They're not really apologizing for you. They're apologizing for themselves to get something
yeah,
from you, or to do
yeah.
something else, or they're just
Which is it
perplexed, like
is
mentally. People that are like
that's right.
good and evil, like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. They're struggling with these, you know, multiple personalities. That's a clinical, like. I'm not a
Yeah.
psychiatrist, but you'll see the Joker. You'll watch the movie tonight, right? So
I'm gonna watch it tonight. So the thing about, and it's funny because Harley Quinn in the comic books was his psychiatrist when he went to Arkham Asylum in the comic books.
okay,
Harley Quinn became his main chick after he kind of opened her up to the craziness. And it's funny because he kind of broke her spirit to make her who she is today. Even though she's a fictitious character. That's why Harley Quinn is looks like the way she looks and acts the way she acts because of the Joker. Because she saw freedom in the Joker that she didn't see in herself. And then when he exposed that part of her, she became just
Kind
as
of like
crazy as he
Siddhartha,
is.
but in a different
Oh
way.
yeah, oh yeah. Enlightenment is enlightenment, sir. Let me tell you something. Enlightenment is enlightenment. People will revere Michael Jordan for the basketball, the Air Jordan, the dunks, and all the great skills. I revere Dennis Rodman. Why? He was different. He
I
had
think Dennis Rodman's cool.
different. He's different. Colored
His
hair.
game was solid too. He was a
He
stud. He's
was.
solid.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
He's an enigma, you know, and
Yes.
he got all the
That's
girls too.
yes. He did. Now the thing is this: they said, oh, he's a skinny, scrawny kid. He's ugly. This man grew 12. He grew a foot in 1 year. He was 5'8" to 6'8" in 1 year. Right?
Damn.
Okay. He could have made shots as much as Pippen and Jordan, but guess what? That's not his role was. His role was to defend, assist, rebounds. That's it. He may make 6 points a game. Okay. But guess what? No one's gonna shoot while he's on the floor. That's the idea. But not only that, this man did stuff that normal. Like if there was social media when he was playing ball, he'd be a billionaire right now
Yeah.
because he did stuff that was different. Like people look at Stephen Urkel on Family Matters as a nerd, right? But look what it was accomplished throughout that show. Now I wouldn't go for Laura because I didn't think she was worth my time, but he eventually got her. He eventually got her, right? Not only that, he cloned himself. He made weapons of mass destruction. I mean, this man did a lot of things in those 10 years that that show was on. But he was also the highest paid actor on the show for being weird. Just saying. So God bless the weirdos. Weirdos make these structures called skylines. Weirdos make these things called cars. Weirdos made something called transfusion, law of thermodynamics. People who make
I
YouTube
think
and
I
Google,
think
those are weirdos.
the weirdness is created by the perception of those that still may be struggling with who they really are
Of
while they're
course.
conforming with everyone as a cut and paste, copy and paste shit. And then, oh, this
Yes.
guy's actually being who
Yes.
he is. And that's making me feel a little, you know,
That's right. That's right.
yeah.
That's right. Because the thing is that if you talk about Christianity, Islam, Judaism, Buddhism, you would think that's a monolith. It isn't. Not all Muslims have beards. Not all Christian women uh, are quiet in church. Because in the Bible it says a woman's supposed to be quiet in church. Some women talk during church. I mean, I'm just call a spade, right? Now, when it comes down to um, what you're trying to be, a weirdo by definition means a person who's not normal. Well, what's normal mean? Normal, by the earliest definition, means to conform to societal needs. Oh,
Normalcy.
1980, no normalcy. So uniformity. We think uniformity means it's the same concept. It's
Th-
1984
These are
Orwellian.
very simple words too. You're using
Yes,
a simple word to define a human.
yes,
Weird. You're
yes,
weird. Well, this is not enough info. You know, like you have those multiple choice where it says, "Is this
yes,
that," or just not enough
yes,
information. There's not enough
yes,
information here. You know.
yes, yes. So when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, I look at it for what it is, right? I am weird. I am a nerd. I am whatever you want to call me. But I look at the definition of the word. You're literally just describing something that I always knew I was. But see, the detractors and critics, this is what they'll do. Soul itself, because any person who calls you anything outside your name is just a reflection of themselves. They're the jerk, not you. They're the miscreant, not you. They are whatever they call you is a reflection of really who they are, right? Now, I'm not saying some people ain't jerks out there. I'm not saying people ain't. Some are, but guess what? If it's affecting your life, I would address the situation. But if you just doing that just to be a troll, be a keyboard warrior, you got too much time on your hands, sir or ma'am. You got too much time on your hands. You have to focus on you and make you better. If you don't, you're gonna do the opposite, which is troll, keyboard warrior. I'm not that dude. I'm a very busy cat. I ain't got time. I don't have time to be sitting there talking about people just because I don't like them or the way they dress. Okay, but see, many moons ago, I was that person who had time because I was upset. That's how I know how these people think because I was that person
Takes one to know
long
one.
ago. There you go. Hurt people hurt people. Like minds like minds. I don't make this up. This is something that's been around for a long time. And I didn't know that until I experienced those things that we're talking about now. I've experienced it firsthand. So
Same here. Same here.
so for me, I just think about how can I make myself better? You know, how can I make myself known? How can I, I think about the stuff that 'cause I said to this in the last live. How what legacy would I leave this world way after I'm gone? I think about that every day, right? And to stand the test of time, the sands of time, books, documentaries, movies, that comes to mind. I like to leave what I know on this planet. And if it's just to piggyback off other things that other people's now finding out, fine. But that's what I want to leave. So not only that, having these YouTube live feeds, these will last forever.
Yeah.
So let's say
Yeah.
I'm no longer here. You can go back, years ago, months ago, or whenever it's time for me to leave, and you know exactly how I was at that moment.
I've recently the whole YouTube thing. Now I like that I don't know where it's going. I don't fear the unknown. The unknown gives me reason to act and live. Versus
Good,
before, I had a plan and I have
good,
goals. Now I do have
good.
goals, but now it's just I'm more free, and I'm using my channel to build, like, kind of like to document my life, most of my life, right? To build my
Good,
brand,
good,
my personal
good.
brand from a business perspective, but also from a creativity. Because you like movies, I like movies. I like art. I like to paint things, and I write a little bit.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
I also write music. Long ago, I used to write music, guitar, and other stuff, and I wrote
Okay,
poetry. I'm a creative person, so
that's good.
making content creation is a form of art and sharing and
It is.
helping.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
it's quite
It
an
is.
amazing time we live in now, because now we can be our own producers, our own
Yeah, that's right.
actors, our
That's right.
own marketing PR with just a
That's right.
device. You don't
That's
need to
right.
go to Hollywood. You don't need to you can just do it here with this device, your phone. And lots of people have done it. We know that it's possible, just like a BK came off. We know these
Yeah.
things are possible. We can achieve them. You just have to want
Yes.
and believe them, and they can come. So yeah, man, I highly encourage that. And uh we're gonna end this pretty soon, and then we'll have another live sometime, maybe like tomorrow or something, Sunday or whatever you're free.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um
Yeah.
yeah.
Told you, I always got time to talk whenever you want to have time to talk because I and I told you before, I'm a very obscure guy. I'm not a guy who likes to be doing live discussions, stuff like that. And I know, in order for me to get the recognition or to get the dimensions to this platform, I'm okay with that. Um, the idea is the energy, is the vibe, and even though this really not as how we are, right? Because this is not, for those who think this is a rehearsed, you can't rehearse a script this
Hey
this
man,
this
like I'm not
elusive.
getting paid enough to remember these lines. Dang, like you guys giving me too much credit.
Exactly. Come on,
Come
man.
on.
Come on, man. So like, last time I checked, when the movie ends, does it end? Does is in the credits, right? There's the producer, the director. Like, there's no editing on a live feed. Like, if this was actual scripted, you will see me somewhere in some movie
And
of
it's
some
live. It's
sort.
not pre-recorded. So
Hey, come on
the
now.
goal of this is
I'm just saying.
to be as transparent as possible and to speak freely and just
Yeah,
to have
that's right.
the rawness of the conversation, so you guys know, you know,
Yeah,
who I am, how we roll, and like what's the
that's
get
right.
down here, right?
Yeah, yeah. And I tell people, I was like, I don't talk to a lot of people specifically because I'm on my zen. I'm trying to be at peace at all times. And if you're not giving me peace, I gotta bid you adieu. I can't do it. So with Andre, just like the other people that talk to Andre on the other lives, they've had. He's not doing a salesman's pitch here. It's based on word of mouth. It's based on reviews of other people who experienced the conversation I had with Andre previously before we got on the live feeds.
I got a
It's
Catholic
been
priest coming on the
really
live. He has a channel, and sorry to cut you
okay.
off. Yeah, he likes the channel, and he needs some assistance. And he's a Catholic priest, and he's part of a big organization, a
Ooh,
Vietnamese organization for Catholic organizations, and he's in Colorado.
wow,
He has his own channel.
wow,
I'm going to be on their
wow.
channel some point. He's wedding someone, or marrying a couple. He's just a priest,
Mm-hmm,
right? Catholic priest. So I'm going to be on his. He's going to be on here, and the same thing like you were saying. That's why I bring this to relevance because yeah, I mean that's the whole purpose. I'm trying to meet with people, not just to transact with them, but to really build a solid community here. And
yeah,
he's a Catholic
yeah,
priest, so
yeah,
it's
yeah,
great to have godly people around you, and just from
yeah,
that level to just to share their experience and give you blessings. Whether you're Catholic,
yeah,
Muslim, or Jew, I'm a Muslim. I put my forehead to the ground. I'm not going to do communion. I don't consider myself a Catholic, but I will pray with a Catholic, and I will respect a priest. I
yeah,
don't need to debate. Don't even care. If you want
yeah.
to be a
That's right.
Catholic, be a Catholic. I'm a Muslim. You're a Jew, and
Yeah.
they're all this. It's kind of like all the same anyway.
If you
Honestly,
yeah, because the thing, well, if you look at it from the context of righteousness and godliness, right? If they say cleanliness is next to godliness, you think clean room. What about a clean mindset?
yeah, clean heart.
What about a clean? Hey, you think they're talking about a room? No, it's deeper than that. So if you're a Catholic priest or a Jewish rabbi or just a practicing devout whatever, and I say whatever in quotes because depending on your religion, doesn't really matter because I have Buddhist friends, I have Hindu friends, I have Muslim friends, I have Catholic, Presbyterian, I have Zoroastrian, and guess what? They're enlightened too. So what I can't read in books, they'll tell me from their own mouth what this actually means in their own language. Cool. And guess what? No arguing, no civil war, just civility amongst those who are enlightened. That's what this is about, right? I can have a conversation with a person who's non-black, and I grew up in a predominantly black neighborhood, right? The reason I can do that now is because I realize that not all white people are racist. I know that now. I don't believe it. I know that now because guess what? I've had good conversations. It's not about black or white. It's not about religion. It's about content of character. Martin Luther King said that in his speech. It's about content of character. So that's why this has to happen now. It took me a while to understand that, but I'm talking to Andre and other people because it makes me grow as a person. That's it. Because I'm in my cave. I stay looking at the room in my cave. I'm looking through my cave. I'm in my own zone. But sometimes I have to peek my head out and see what's going on out here and say what's up.
Yeah,
And
and
now you know
just
what
like
I mean?
Neo didn't want to, you know, go with Trinity, but could be your calling. You know, a lot of people didn't really want to like, didn't know or didn't really want to, like the reluctant hero, right? The epic
There you go.
hero, the reluctant hero.
Yes, yes, yes. Hero of a Thousand Faces by Joseph Campbell. Great book. It's literally talking about the epic adventure of the reluctant hero, the one that didn't want to do it, the one who escaped his own fate because of the prophecy that he heard. That's that's every hero movie that you've ever seen. Every
Yeah,
prophetic story. I don't want to be
yeah.
this. Why not? I don't deserve this. Why not? I don't think. Okay, no problem.
All these
But
movies we
this.
got are from stories passed down from before
Yes.
there were
Yeah.
movies, and just
Yes.
cut up in a
Yes.
different, scribbled up, and changed a little bit, right?
That's right. Yes, sir. And in every story, no matter how deep it is or not, what did you learn from it? That's the idea. You have to understand that, like, if you watch something like a Jurassic Park, it has nothing to do with dinosaurs. What is the symbols?
Yeah, yeah,
Most
that's
people,
true.
most people think it's about dinosaurs. It has nothing to do with dinosaurs. It's about the evolution of the mind. Now, you can't see it if you don't understand it. If you watch it again, watch the characters, watch the colors, following the symbols, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Terminator has nothing to do with robots at all. It has nothing to do with robots at all. But you think it does because you see a robot called a Terminator trying to get a guy named John Connor. Oh, okay.
I
Well,
saw
if
the
you follow,
Matrix that way. How you're you know
yeah,
explaining, but I haven't
yeah,
looked at Terminator that way or Jurassic Park. But the Matrix, I knew agents were a resemblance of something, right?
yeah,
And you know they were a representation, and
yes,
yeah, it's
yes.
all simple.
And the person who wrote the Matrix wrote the Terminator.
Oh,
So
I didn't know that. Oh, okay.
yeah, her name is Sophia Stewart. She wrote Terminator and Matrix in the 1970s, and then she was trying to shop a deal in Warner Brothers in the late 80s, early 90s, and she couldn't find a deal. And then she mailed something to the Wachowski brothers, who actually had a deal with brothers at that time, and they stole her idea of the Matrix.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was gonna ask you. There was something that happened.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what happened. That's what happened. And James Cameron, even though he directed Terminator, the person who screenwrote Terminator stole Sophia Stewart's idea to create the Terminator in the 1980s because she had this idea since the 70s. She says she was inspired by George Lucas, the guy who created Star Wars,
oh
and she said
wow.
she wanted to create a she
Oh,
wanted to create
Star Wars,
a
man, that's a
yeah,
wow.
yeah,
That is something.
yeah. She was inspired. She was inspired to write Matrix and Terminator by George Lucas. She said this, George Lucas created a space odyssey of the mind because his mentor was Joseph Campbell. Sophia Stewart, she wanted to make an odyssey of the mind as well, but make it more socially relevant. So Terminator is literally about, God created man, man created machines. Well, if God's having a war with God, if man is having a war with God, then what man's created is having a war with man, their God. That's what Terminator is about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Matrix is the aftermath because the robots won, and they realized, well, we
Ah,
can't kill the
yeah.
humans.
It's
We can't
different time
kill
and
the
place.
humans. Exactly. We can't kill the humans because we still need them. So they took their energy, think they're to sleep, to use their energy to power the robots because the robots realize we need humans to survive too.
Damn,
So just
that's
like
crazy. That might
that's how
just
deep the
happen.
movie goes. Yeah. Well, it's in front of us, right? Because Sophia Stewart knew in the 1970s what was going to happen then. Just like George Lucas knew it was going to happen then. If you follow Star Wars, that's the epic journey. But if you correlate that to history, you'll see it's talking about something that's been happening since the dawn of time. Empires falling and rising, calling it republics. Like Mexico, for instance, is a country, right? But it's called Ireland. Used to be called Ireland. An island, then the Republic of Ireland to this day. So the Republic of Ireland is part of the EU, but Northern Ireland is not part of the EU. It's part of the United Kingdom. So it's like, wait a second. Why is that? Because there were wars within the actual country, and they said, you know what, let's just split this part up, just like India and Pakistan. You would think
Mm.
Pakistan is a whole other country. It's in India. Yemen and Saudi Arabia. Yemen is
Yeah.
in Saudi Arabia,
Yeah.
but you would think Yemen is not part of Saudi Arabia. It is. No, those are Yemenis people. Okay, whatever you want to call yourself, it's in Saudi Arabia. But follow the history, you'll see why they blurred those lines and made them what they are. Like Jordan and Syria, they only been around. The names only been around since the
Hey,
Israel's only been around. My bad. Go ahead.
um, Zaid, I'm on 1%, so we got to end this.
Oh, oh
But
yeah, man.
all right,
It's good
guys,
conversation, man.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Guys, thanks for watching, and you guys that are going to see this later, you might want to watch the whole thing because there's a lot of nuggets in here. And thanks, Zaid. Lots of good info, and
Likewise.
I'll see you guys later.
Likewise.
We'll be on again.
All right. Take care, Andre.
Take care. Bye.